Hey guys, welcome back. We're looking at some I don't know, amazing news in history, I guess, for this generation of people.
First elected president
That wasn't
who's never done anything except be in business.
right, and
Except for George Washington. I will say George Washington was a general. They actually said who wasn't a general was one of their criteria.
right.
I guess welcome to the new republic.
Hopefully, yeah, we're looking at some big options.
It's a
here.
big deal.
And that's important to me because I think that the way that things have gone, the way that things are going, I've seen some hits in my pocketbook because of, that's an old-timey reference, in my wallet, because there's, insurance, the way that it's structured now because of Obamacare and you having a large family and stuff like that, you probably pay a lot.
It has been, my insurance has, to start off with, why is Trump winning, right? I think Trump is winning because he's the change candidate.
Right.
Trump is winning because, and this is why Obama won too, I believe. Obama didn't win because he was African American, in my opinion. Obama won because he was a change candidate. He said hope and change, and then he got to year 5 and he wanted more hope and more change because, it was the Republicans' fault that he hadn't had more time to do more stuff.
Sure, they fought him every
and so he won again, right? Because he was still the hope and change candidate. And he killed Osama bin Laden, and nobody liked that guy.
Right.
Great. So now we've got this situation of Hillary Clinton, who's not liked.
Right.
And we've got Donald Trump, who's not liked, but they're not liked for different reasons. Donald Trump, we talked about this in the Bullies episode, we talked about this in Locker Room Talk. Donald Trump says things that people find offensive.
Right.
But he's super, super in your face. This is how Donald Trump is. He's that way all the time.
You don't expect anything less from the guy at this point, and that's what people have kind of come to respect. Is first it was, I don't like him because he's so brash and bold, and then he doesn't play the game, and he doesn't shake hands with people he hates and stuff like that. He came out saying all these people are weak-minded, all these people are going to be, and the way he might have said it could have been any other number of rude comments on Twitter and everything like that, but
he fought back.
But he fought back, and as I heard on one interview, the reason that he fights back is because all the stuff that people are saying about him is if he says that if he doesn't refute them as soon as they happen, then it gets out there, and then there's no chance of fixing it after the fact. So he says any attack on me is an attack that won't stand. It has to be legitimate and true. And I have to be given my fair say because that's what our society is based on.
And he didn't argue with some of the stuff, right? Like he didn't argue. He argued with the Alicia Machado Miss Universe thing, right? He argued with it because he said, "Yeah, she did gain weight. Yeah, it was a problem. Yeah, we're trying to sell her for beauty products, and we're trying to make her image is a product of this business." That doesn't make what he said right,
but it's a common thing.
But you can understand his thought process. And then you get with the allegations from the Access Hollywood tape, and we watched and we reviewed, right?
Yep.
He didn't refute that he said it.
No, but he said, "I apologize.
I shouldn't have said it. It was embarrassing.
Thing to say.
I shouldn't have done it." And then he moved on to,
and hopefully,
ISIS is chopping people's heads off. I think we should talk about that.
And after 11 years, you hope that some maturity sinks in. Even though he was 50 years old at the time, it's like you expect a 50-year-old guy to do it. But
I've heard worse than that.
Oh, for sure.
I've heard worse. I'll flat out say that. I am a young person. I have been in many industries. I have heard worse conversations than that from managers, from human resources personnel,
people in positions of power,
from bosses that I've worked for. I have heard much worse than the things Donald Trump said in that. And I have sat in the room and heard it everything. Racist, vulgar language. I've heard all of it. And I'm going to tell you, it's not uncommon in the companies that I've worked for. It's not uncommon.
A lot of people don't say the things, but there are I would say the majority thinks things. They might not say it out loud, but you think it. And if that makes you a bad person to think something every once in a while, I'm sarcastic in general. You can usually tell by my t-shirt. I'm a sarcastic person. I like to make a joke of something that's sometimes not, a soft topic. I'll make a joke about a hard topic every once in a while, and I'll get a laugh out of it. And maybe the person in the back of their mind is not thinking something that's a very nice thing to say about me, but if they recognize the fact that it was a joke or I was just being, locker room talk or something like that, like I typically avoid that type of talk,
I do too. But it happens. That's my point. It's like it happens, and when it happens, you don't just react to it.
Right.
You recognize that you're dealing with a person. You're not going to legislate your morality to them. You're not going to change them. You can be in part of the conversation or not. You can be in the room or not. Those are the choices that you have, and you move on. I've confronted people about things that they've said.
Yeah.
I had to report a manager for sexually harassing an employee, and it got me in a lot of trouble. I've done those things, and I've gone down that road of doing the right thing in those situations. But in this case, he's winning because he's transparent, and she's not transparent.
With all the stuff that's come out,
she's not honest about who she is. She's just who she is right now.
You knew she was guilty. You knew it, even if you were voting for her. When her reaction to the second set of emails was, we've got, we need to see this proof, this evidence right now. And it wasn't even an accusation.
And then
they just said she might be implicated.
They said this on I couldn't believe this. They said this. They were like, "What do you mean she has to see it? The FBI doesn't have to release anything to her."
No, but her demands.
It's Huma's computer.
Right.
Right? Go to Anthony Weiner's house, get the computer, bring it to your election headquarters, download all the emails, and you look at them. That's all it took.
Confiscated because
it's not the email server's still there.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like it disappeared. They could just go look at it. It's like if you have email on your email inbox, does it just disappear? It's still there until you click delete, right?
Well, then you got to go to the trash folder and delete that.
My point is, she's not transparent. He's super transparent.
Right.
She is Obama term 3. He is drain the swamp. Yeah. Now, you can 100% disagree with how he conducts himself or how she conducts herself, whatever it is. But that's why he's winning.
Right.
He is winning because he's saying... He's a cowboy. He is, I'm going to shoot first and ask questions later. I'm going to make decisions. I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to attack first. I'm not going to put up with a bully. Somebody can't say crap about me and have me turn the other cheek.
Right.
There is no other cheek. Right? There is just a fist to your face.
The resemblance to John Wayne is there. I mean, old, not very good looking, loud, in your face. Grit. And that's... I think that the younger generation, the fact that there's record turnout right now, people want their opinion to be heard.
Yeah.
And as loud as she has been, and as in your face as he has been, the people get to decide.
This was her election to lose.
Right.
She had this thing in the bag.
Right.
I think. She led in...
3 weeks ago, it was all her.
She led and led and led, and then she didn't clean her own house. Mm-hmm. And the hypocrisy to stand there next to Bill Clinton, who was impeached for sexual misconduct in office and lying under oath. Okay? Standing next to the same dude, and then point the finger at Trump, who was not convicted.
Right.
Who's accused. And say, that son of a gun is the worst, but I'm proud of my husband's legacy.
Right.
Like the fact that those two thoughts can exist in the same brain at the same time without causing a nuclear explosion is amazing.
Talking about finger on the button.
You can't respect your husband's legacy, Bill Clinton, trying to get every girl in sight, and hate Trump.
He's still doing it, by the way.
Probably is still doing it.
They don't even live in the same house. So, I mean, that's what we got so far.
So Trump's probably going to win.
we're hopeful. We're hopeful for change.
I think that's going to happen.
Even if he didn't win, as slim the margins are, I think that it would be a wake-up call for a lot of the people that are out there right now that are saying, I don't have a voice, or my way. If you're in power right now and you're sitting there saying my way doesn't have to change because people will do whatever I say because I hold the power right now, there's only a few positions out there that are lifetime, and you know what? We're living a long time nowadays. So
he's going to have appointments to the Supreme Court. The House is probably going to stay Republican. The Senate's probably going to stay Republican.
Well, this opens up a couple of windows too. I mean,
this could be a crazy couple of years right now.
Well, following this, even, you have to look at how this is going to impact the future elections, 12 years in the future. If he doesn't get elected for a second term, which, honestly, I think he'll get in there and hopefully he'll be able to accomplish his goals and he'll say, I'm done, I'm old, I'm rich, I've got to go spend some time with the family, they're young, and enjoy the rest of it. I came in, I accomplished what I wanted to do, and now I can go and let this go to the next person.
We'll see what happens.
Hopefully, that turns out to be somebody else who is saying, okay, we saw change. We want to see future change. Yeah. We want to see progression, and not just this continual bickering back and forth between two parties that don't really stand for what they were originally set up for. The whole point of having multiple parties is so that there's equality. And evenness in the system. And so far, it's been so one-sided. It doesn't matter what your name is and what that little letter next to your name is. You have to be the person that your people want you to be, and that's what will get you elected. And hopefully, with that power, you actually step up to the plate and do something. And I mean, that's our local people, that's our national representatives, and that's our government. And it's too much control for one person, but hopefully he puts the right people in positions.
And if he doesn't,
she's promising positions to people for money.
If he doesn't do what he said he's going to do,
he won't.
His own people will vote him out.
Yeah,
because the country wants change. That's it. And that's what's going to drive, until there is the gridlock is stopped in Washington, D.C., until people feel like their country is back on top, until people feel proud of being American, in terms of not being told on the world stage that they should feel bad about it. Right?
The fact that people believe the hype, this is a racial issue, but when a white person tells another white person that they're not worth it because they're white or they have white privilege, which I watched in several things there, there's no such thing as white privilege. Not anymore, anyways. I mean, maybe when you could still buy a person. But it's not a real thing. I'm not privileged. I work every day to pay for the things that I have, to do the job that I do, and I feel like I've earned that in some ways.
It's like Obama saying, well, if you're a small business owner, you don't deserve any of the credit for your small business. You didn't build that. You didn't put the road that goes to your small business in place. Well, no, I didn't put the road there. But
you paid for it with your taxes.
I paid for it with taxes, and I went there and I picked the location where I put my business. And then I put in every hour that I could put in to make my small business work. Right. I mean, that's how the country is successful. So there's a lot we could talk about. We don't want to.
Sorry for going down a rabbit hole.
Too deep in the weeds. It's been a great eye-opening thing. I've been able to teach my kids about elections and voting this year. First time for them to talk about that. And so Trump is likely the next president of the United States at this point, and we'll call it for him. Thanks for 2016, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Get out and do something. I mean, I talked to so many people who didn't want to vote, and when I told them my opinions on it, I gave them a perspective that they weren't seeking, but it gave them some perspective, and they agreed with me at the end of the conversation. But you have to get out of your shell and do things that are uncomfortable every once in a while.
Yep.
I agree, and that's what I'm going to continue to stand for. You know, is like I want to get out there. I want to see you guys. You know, like tune into our show, and it's nice to be heard. So
absolutely,
if you're one of the many people who voted this year, thank you. Hopefully your vote went to who you believed in, and hopefully that person wins. In your view, just in case you're a Democrat or
best
something
you
like
can
that.
do.
But you know, you did it, and that's what we're doing here. Is we want to see that. We want to see. I feel better myself doing this, so I think we can safely say that no matter what the results are, you know, we'll be back. Again, we're not basing everything off that. So, thanks, guys. Like, subscribe. Hopefully, comment if you're someone watching us in a classroom somewhere. You know, hopefully we've said something that mattered, good or bad. So, thank you.
Thanks.
See you next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye.